Oh, weed, gotta get rid of it.
Come over here. I'm going to do a really quick pruning demonstration, but you're going to love it because it's going to show you how to prune, and it's going to wake you up to how everybody prunes wrong.
Here or where?
What's that?
Here or
No, a little Japanese maple over here, next to that where that lady's sitting.
Are these this year's new growth?
All those shoots are 1 year's growth.
Wow.
And it's a dwarf tree that isn't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, man, these things are racking my brain because I've been around this my whole life. I prune trees for a living. I go to people's orchards, man, it's like 6 to 8 inches of growth a year. That's it. Thank you.
Oh, that's plum.
These are all plums.
Yes.
And they get totally huge and they're amazing.
Oh, have you seen the size in the back? There's one that's just monster, like steroid size.
Okay.
No, I use it to grow basil in the summertime. I just didn't get it planted this year.
And I saw you had corn. Is that gross corn here?
Grows great here, yeah. I get good corn. Plenty of corn.
Is it sweet corn or?
That's sweet corn, yeah. Mm-hmm. So pruning. The only culture in the world who knows how to prune are the Japanese. No culture beside them knows how to prune. And all cultures, European cultures where you live, you've all seen how they prune trees. They start from the outside and start hacking ends off, and they look ugly when they're done. They're gross looking. All these stumps in your face. With the Japanese, they start from the inside and work out. Which when you think about it, that's how the tree grew. And it makes such a difference when you approach it that way. So if you look at trees in nature, you look at those sequoias over there, all the fir trees, the branches at the bottom are the longest. And as they go up, they get shorter. There's a reason for that. It's called lighting. If the branches below like this don't extend out far enough, they're not going to get light. They're not going to do well. So always the lower branches have to be the longest. And if they're not, you better get rid of them because they're not going to make it.
Now, exactly which samurai saw is that? Is there a number or something?
Yeah, this is I guess it's getting pretty wore out, but yeah, this is a challenge GCM-330-MH.
The samurai.
Samurai.
May I?
Yes, check that thing out, man. It's awesome.
And the pruners, what's the model?
Felco number 8.
Number 8.
Swiss made. Okay, so you start at the bottom, inside out. You see these branches here don't come out far enough to get sunlight, so they're history. And you always want to cut close, right to the trunk. Cut the collar flat. And so everything going up and down, I'm taking out because I want to develop this to be a nice flat. Here you'll see how this one's going up. It's crowding.
Blocking the light from the guy below it?
Yeah. And see anything coming underneath?
What about that one right there? I'm just curious.
Where?
Right here, sir.
This is still getting light from the back, but look what I'm gonna do here. You see this has got some dead wood right there?
Right.
You're gonna notice when I get done, it's gonna look like I didn't do anything. And see, the art of pruning, I'm serious, the art of pruning is hiding your cuts. And when you cut close, you see this is how people prune in my culture. They come like this. Yeah, and you got all those stumps to look at. And that's not right. Now watch what I do here to thin this. You see I take this center out. You see I just opened up that space? Okay. You see how this is crossing over into that space? You see how now all of a sudden that's just nicely opened? Yep. This little guy in the center here, this is never amount to anything. So I get rid of all this little stuff. You see, this stuff is going up. Getting rid.
Anything that's up, like
Up. You want to develop flat surfaces, not
sideways.
yeah.
Yeah, horizontal.
You know. Now you see, as I'm watching how this is flowing into here, because I'm going to leave that. This is crowding it. It doesn't go with the flow. So this should be flowing, and I want to keep this up here. You see how this is crowding in the center?
So what you're doing on this maple here is very similar to what you do on the fruit trees, right?
I'm so glad you said, because the pruning principle is the same for everything. Everything. Whether it's a rose, and cutting back to the fifth thing is stupid. If something's in the wrong place, take it out. If it's in the right place, leave it. You see now this is crowded, so I'm going to take this thing out of the center. You see how that just like, oh, you can just feel like you can breathe now, you know?
If you make a mistake this year, it goes back next year.
That's the beauty of pruning and live things, is that you always get every year you get new options.
That one was just crowding.
Yeah, it's crowded.
Okay.
You see what's happening here? You see that's laying on top of that one. And so you see this is coming underneath. You know, and so it's going to crowd that space.
Do you ever slide any pieces of wood in here to like space new
No.
growth out?
Because looks ugly, and it's going to damage the bark, and the thing may break and not last. And I hate crutches.
Does it need to be done every year?
At least, sometimes twice, depending on how fast it grows. And if something's in the wrong place, I'm not going to wait for a year to fix it.
Why did you do that one, Paul?
Because
That was growing.
look, but here, this is my top, and that was, you see, back here, this is my highest point, and that was above it. And I'm going, you know, this is my crown, and so everything's coming from here down, and that was higher.
But,
This is my top.
yeah.
This is the highest point of my tree, and this was extending beyond it. And I'm going this direction, so everything should do this flow.
Oh, I see.
Micah, no. Are you looking for a central leader, or are you?
There's no such thing as a central leader in this tree.
Okay, gotcha.
See, all these things you're told in books, when you come out to the real world, they don't exist. So throw the books away and get free and use your eye.
Think of the space you gain. No books.
And again, see, every plant, you know, you see this is just crowded here. So I'm going to take this center out, open it up. See, again, these uprights, this is going up. So I'm going to take it out.
See you later, Paul.
Okay, now you see what we've done here? You see how nicely this is arranged, nothing's touching it, everything's fit, and it doesn't appear to you that it was cut. Are you getting it? The art of pruning is hiding your cuts. When you're done, it should look like you hadn't been there.
So what do you say about like waiting to prune after the fruit, or like they say don't prune until after?
They say,
Huh?
you notice when you're in my orchard, the interior parts of my trees had absolutely no sucker growth.
And that's
And everybody's trees that you've been around have tons. You know why? Because I don't tolerate it. And you know how I prune it? With my hand. When they're little buds, I rub them off. Because I don't want them there, so why let them get big and cut them when they're big? Remove them up front. And so I prune all summer. I walk out in the summertime, I just walk to my trees, just rub them. And just caress them because they're nice trees.
And rub it off? Do you know the name of this?
I don't. It's a Japanese maple. Some guy who's a landscaper brings his crew in here every year to have him, teach them how to prune, and he gave me this a couple of years ago. Now you see how easy that was and simple?
Well,
And it's,
okay, no, you made it simple. Really.
but again, I want you to understand there's principle and reasons for what I'm doing, and you can see how everything just fits in. And what's going to happen now, because of the pruning, this wood is just going to start expanding, and this trees will start growing at levels it's never grown before.
Yeah.
Because nothing makes things grow like pruning. Nothing.
So you wouldn't leave the pruning material down to make
No, because it's offensive to me. It doesn't fit in again, this Swiss German culture. Everything has a place. It should be in place. I like this and all that stuff on top of it was cumbersome.
But
Didn't look.
other than the looks, that could
It'd be
still
fine.
beneficial.
Beneficial, yeah. If
If you wanted to, you could.
it works fine because everything. Here's the reality. Everything turns back to dirt. Everything left to itself turns back to dirt.
Why is this here?
Good eye.
Ah.
Awesome.
Boy, we got
Yeah.
another perfectionist.
It's awesome.
No, I'm just a bit OCD,
It was a poor cut. Didn't get it all off,
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
and I'm blessed by you seeing it. Awesome.
I'm just OCD.
That's awesome.
Don't tell that to my husband.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
You see, OCD has a tremendous ability to pay attention to detail. Detail is really important. It is. It's significantly important.
Well,
Detail, seeing detail.
I didn't believe it too well.
A lot of people just see that they don't see, and that's awesome. You have an eye, and see, it's been trained.
not everybody agrees with that, though.
It doesn't matter. I'm being real. I'm just telling you. You want to do things really well,
I know a couple people that
and you care about detail.
Yeah, very detail-oriented.
It's miserable to try to find some. My kids used to do my orchard. This is hilarious. The rule of thumb was if I can find 3 weeds in a minute, you're not done. Okay, Dad, we're done. I walk out there and they couldn't believe it, man. Instantly, I got 3 weeds. Says, how did you see that?
Because it sticks out like a sore thumb.
My eye's been trained
Yeah,
to notice detail,
mine too.
and see, a lot of people aren't. And when you're doing any kind of work, it matters. Detail is important if you're doing work.
I was just sharing with one of the other gentlemen, we were standing by ourselves over there, and I said, visually, I would probably get really frustrated looking at your garden when I see a squash coming out of the ground, but because you have wood chips and the area around it is so clean that it looks sort of strategic that it's supposed to be there, you know? So especially when I seen your videos and all these years I've been watching in Norway, I'm like, how does he get it so that it's so perfectly lined up, the grass and the gardening area, it is so straight. I mean, I know you're an arborist.
I use a
but-
line trimmer on my grass,
Yeah,
and I use strings in my garden to run straight rows. I just told you.
yeah.
And again, it's this whole thing of like OCD demanding excellence.
It really
Excellent.
speaks to me though. It really
OCD
resonates.
is excellence.
No, it's not. It's not when you're the one that has to
I'm not going to
subject
change.
everybody else
I'm
around.
not going to change.
Yeah,
I demand excellence.
yeah,
And I don't care what they call it.
yeah.
I just think excellence is awesome. And I just will not change.
I know, but when you pursue your life like that, it does get exhausting for the people around you sometimes because they're forced to rise, to that occasion,
And that's
it's
why
tough for other
and that's
people
why I'm a
around.
recluse, why I go nowhere, and why I've always worked for myself. Are you hearing me? I've worked for myself my whole life because I demand excellence.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work in the marketplace. You know?
But you made obviously a really wonderful choice to live like this for your family and for yourself.
I'm
And
thankful.
Yeah,
I got a good father.
you took a big.
But I have a good father who really helps me.